evidence that was collected. This was a very straightforward question. Literally, no one answers like this unless there are things they simply can't say.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you
so she says, so this person says, my money is on, she's terrified.
All right.
Of
They,
course.
they killed her husband in front of the whole damn world. She probably doesn't trust anyone. She's playing along for safety reasons, and that's why she seems fake. Mel says, my thoughts exactly. I've been asking myself for weeks how I would act if I were her and my husband was assassinated in front of the world and I didn't know who I could trust. And honestly, I'd probably be acting exactly like her. I'm doing my best to pretend everything was fine, which would end looking fake as hell. I'd be scared, so I'd be trying to surround myself with tons of people and distractions all the time too. So I think that's likely. I think that's very likely because that answer was
course.
weird. That's a weird answer.
She answered like she's Kash Patel and that's her husband. She answered like, I might get in trouble if I say what I think. That's what her answer was.
Kyle says, clearly not a resounding yes, and I honestly don't understand why she can't just come out with it. Mel says, I think it's pretty obvious why she can't do that. These psychos literally murdered her husband in front of the whole world, and the FBI is helping them cover it up. That's why. She knows this. She just said she trusts her team. Here you are twisting things. Why? What good can you twisting things do? Says Sherry Sprayberry.
That's not a real person.
I know. Mel says, I'm not twisting anything, Sherry. She was asked yes or no question, and she gave a non-committal answer. No one asked about her team. You're reading into this just as much as anyone else, whether you admit it or not. Well said, Mel. So yeah, let's watch it one more time.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected, I trust our team.
Okay.
Like, look at this woman here. Let's play this again.
Your husband's killer?
Look at that.
So
How
something
fake
I'm so grateful for
can you possibly
is
be?
that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected, I trust our team.
Okay, so if you've seen the if anybody has seen the
That's some of
autopsy
the
report, could you
fakest
please
shit I have
explain to
ever
me
seen in my life.
how a 30-06 bullet doesn't have an exit wound? Can you please explain that to me?
Can I
Because
use
there-
miracles to explain it?
and don't use miracles.
The whole
Well, then
thing.
you're not going to be satisfied with any evidence. If I can't tell you about miracle
Bullshit.
neck bones.
So can someone just that's my jumping off point. Where's the bullet? And
Look, at the end of the day, it's just another example of just how they. I mean, we have no idea what actually happened. Something happened, but we don't know. Somebody knows. Probably not you. I don't. But what I do know, and a lot of us know, is that the official, position narrative is that some kid did this. It's like, you have to ask yourself, you know, who's lying? Why are they lying? You know, who coordinated this? Because it obviously was coordinated. Who's behind all that? Well, guys, these are the people who have been referred to by presidents, right? Namely, one that gets often referenced is Kennedy. 1962, I think he said that, you know, secrecy is repugnant, right? But these people do work in secret. This is known. This is no theory. It's right in front of our faces, really. Especially as people learn about what the fuck's really going on. I mean, a lot of people are taking the initiative to try to understand maybe even what the cabal, the deep state, secret societies. Yeah, there's a lot to learn about that. That ain't no joke stuff. But yeah, to one degree or other, yeah, they have obviously a huge role in this. I like to look at that as the backbone of, you know, the big club that you ain't in, right? Is the secret societies, and they got different ways, if you know what I mean. But a lot of that is, you know, real, and then a lot of people are starting to come to terms with the fact that that probably, you know, may in fact be a real thing. Because, I mean, again, you take a look at, you know, as far as people like waking up, you know, if you see, which a lot of people did, how it played out here, you know, I'm talking about 5 years ago, how it played out here versus, say, other countries, like the same exact way, like what? Everybody just like, yeah, went lockstep. Right, that's because that's the type of thing that's controlled at these levels that I'm referring to. These people that work in secret, the people behind the veil, you know, they're very real, and they definitely got a plan. They got a plan for your ass, okay? Question is, do we have a plan for our asses? And from what I could tell now, the masses have no plan. And they know that. They know they got the masses exactly where they want them, right? And there's definitely a plan. Some people are aware of what's commonly referred to as 2030, Agenda 2030, having a big part to do with this, right? Yeah, that's definitely true. And if you know a little bit about certain things, it's a damn shame I can't say it right now, but if you know a little bit about certain things, you know how that's trying to tap people in the internet. That's for real. That ain't no joke. But if you know about these things, you know, that's what they want to do. Ties everything, get people connected up, get people controlled, want to control you. And so, you know, question is, do we want to go that route or not? What kind of plan do we have for our asses? Right? And, you know, just as a, you know, when you diagnose a car, right? It's the same type of diagnosis is what's all the people's energies going to, you know, as far as their power is concerned. Because you got to have, like you got to have power in an engine to go from point A to point B. We need to know where we want to go, right? And take that power and go from point A to point B. You understand what I'm saying? It's basic stuff. You feel me? Right. So these folks, you understand, their job is to take that energy and make it work for them. Our job, okay, this is what the revolution has to be about, okay? Because this is natural law based stuff. Ain't no philosopher, you know, transcendental master that's going to disagree with anything I'm talking about. This is all natural law stuff. So, in as much, and again, they make movies about this. This is not my theory, right? This is the thing that they try to keep from you. They did make that movie called that book called Secrets. You know, that's all that stuff is natural law based stuff. If you get into this thing, you come across a term called hermetics. Yeah, it's not no religion. It's not religion. It is, let me repeat, this ain't no religion. All right, this is just an understanding of the way the universe works, because this is a real thing, and it's immutable. You can't get around it. This is what some people refer to as God, okay? In fact, when people say that word to me, God, I, you know, do kind of a translation in my mind. I'm thinking, yeah, universal law. So like, anyhow, not to get all fall into that spiritual stuff, but if we want what we say we want, we're going to have to recognize the reality of these things. And the spiritual side is extraordinarily important because it is a spiritual war. And, you know, to be very effective, we're going to have to acknowledge that, because that's acknowledging who we are, okay? And this thing about who we are is extremely critical. So it's also means we got a lot of responsibility, right? And primarily, to make it easy, as far as breaking it down, the responsibility is to grow your power through what? Through knowledge and understanding. You could call it truth seeking. There's a pretty popular guy said, seek truth. So important. He wasn't messing around. And again, that's mind vibration. The other thing is love and unity. Okay, their game is division. You're responsible for healing that division. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So that's two ways that you can act now to start increasing your power. And this unity part, like I said, right now the Republicans and Democrats need to make up like nobody's business. If you don't want to go down this path that they want you to go down, your best chance is each other. Duh. Okay, universal law. We are one. Do I need to beat this into your head? You know, I'm going to just keep making videos, keep making live streams until y'all understand what I'm talking about. And also, I'm going to give y'all something you can do. I should have that ready by next week or in a couple days, that you can express this, right? We're talking about ways to express love for each other. It's gotta happen. Let me ask you this question right now. For you guys out there in the chat, I bet you there's nobody in the chat. That's okay. I'm gonna pretend there's a million people in the chat. I'm gonna ask y'all right now. Are you conservative? And if so, is there a liberal that you love? Okay. If you're a liberal, do you know of a person who's considered a conservative that you love, that you have love for? There's no more important time. There's no more important thing to do right now than to reach out to your opposite and tell them you love them. There's nothing could be more important, because this divide, we can't get to where we want to go as a collective people, you know, working hand in hand together without healing these wounds. It really is job one. It's job one. It's job one. So a little bit more. I'm gonna talk a lot about this, but there's different reasons why. Well, I guess there's the one, yeah. The male version of that duality is responsible for making the move and taking the initiative on showing the love. It's just how it is. And be honest with you, man, I'm telling you, man, the way that the media got the liberals just enraged at conservatives, honestly, I swear to God, it made me cry. I remember driving and just thinking, wow, these motherfuckers manipulated people this hard to make people hate people that much. And then they're gonna pretend that minorities are being hated by racist white people. It's like, what are you talking about? Well, it's because the whole thing was a manipulation. They got control of people's minds. They can easily push a button and get people to hate each other. Or, more importantly, fear each other. That's what they do. They can make everybody afraid of everything, and that's how they get their control. We all know this, right? I ain't saying nothing nobody knows, but what I am asking is for people who kind of realize all this stuff, we got work to do, you guys. We got work to do. We have to get started. So, we're going to have to take action, do things. I just mentioned one. If you know somebody on the opposite side that you need to reach out to, you got to do it now. Maybe as an agreement for everybody, we can agree to stop giving away our power. Stop agreeing to hate each other or fear each other. And start seeking truth. Because the Great Awakening is happening. We realize we're all being lied to. Now we gotta take that next step. Start this revolution from within first. In this part I'm talking about within is within our society. How we got these liberals versus the conservatives. Bullshit ran through the media. If we didn't have people fucking with the media, we wouldn't be in this situation. But we are being controlled psychologically through psychological operations. It's true. So let's talk about that. In terms of understanding the enemy's methods in their psychological operation. A lot of it, you could say most of it is, there's a lot of things there, but the basic part is the use of fear. That's the basic aspect of it. They know that they control people's minds through the media, but what they also do know, which apparently people don't know, but they do, but they still listen to them anyhow. And this is where we're responsible, right? Yeah, we are responsible. We're the ones with the power, so we decide. Anyhow, they don't owe you anything, right? They don't have any contracts with you. You're not paying them. Other people pay them to bullshit you, right? And I ask, what part of that do I have wrong? Because it's right, obviously. They are highly controlled. They're there for the specific purpose of controlling the masses, right? That's what they're there to do, and we all know that. Sometimes, I get a little frustrated with things because, people talk about media, and I just say, you know, we do actually have the power to make that stop. I mean, journalism is great. That's how you find out about stuff, but that's not what's going on there. That's not journalism. That's just fucking with you. That's all that is. That's all that is. And we know that. Again, I'm not saying anything that's crazy. I'm just telling it like it is. But it's, if we allow these motherfuckers to put that in our society, I'm sorry, but it's just on us. Okay? So when I'm talking about like a basic platform, I'm talking about, I believe we can all get united, everybody, on a platform of stop allowing these people to fuck with us. Okay? Maybe there is some stuff we gotta talk about, but I'm telling you, in this environment where we have these people constantly fucking with us, you know, you can't even fucking think straight. You can't even think straight in the first place. You don't know what's up or down. They're constantly blah, 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 be afraid, be afraid. You're like, ah. You know, shut those motherfuckers up. Shut that shit down. We can do that. I think we can agree. I mean, how could you not agree? It's like the biggest psyop. They're constantly lying. They're taking our money and doing horrible things with it. You know? And we need to get unified so we can take care of this. And guys, we do have a card to play. Let's just put it this way. And I hope that, well, a lot of people know this, by the way. This isn't just me. But if we can do this right, we got help. We have powerful people in powerful places that are ready to help us get this done. Who could that be? Some of y'all know. You tell each other. I'm not gonna. I won't go there. You know, but it's at a lot of different levels. It's at local levels, federal levels. It's at Illuminati levels. It's at Hollywood levels, military levels. You got a whole lot of people placed well, ready to take action once they see the people got their shit together. Because right now we don't have our shit together, but we can, we will. It doesn't. If we can get our shit together, and if the Republicans and the Democrats can agree on the basic stuff of, like I say, I'm an ex-Democrat, right? I got a clue, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I was like, this is bullshit, I see. Anyhow. But what's my point? My point is that I was a liberal, a Republican-hating Democrat. You know, I mean, once I met this black couple who were Republicans, I just thought they were crazy because I was just convinced the Republicans were just so bad. I mean, you know, if you know, you know. Neither the Republicans or the Democrats are better than each other. I mean, the whole thing is just a huge manipulation. And if you want to play that game, you know, go play that game. But the revolution is all about, we are done with that shit. We're done. Okay? Basic stuff. We need to get control of our environment. Okay? Because right now our environment is crap. All this propaganda, manipulation, race every day. It's crazy. It's all intentional to fuck with us. And I'm getting sick of it. But sometimes I think, I am getting sick of them doing it, but also I am getting sick of people letting it get done to them. Right? Because whether you like hate or love a personality, they got you. And that's like one of these awakening things. A lot of people want to play that game. That they think that these politicians give a fuck about them. No, let's say this, because on an optimistic way of looking at that, now let's take a look at Trump, right? I never really thought that much about him. And when he ran, I thought it was such a joke. But he caught my attention when he started talking about fake news. I was like, wow, finally somebody's actually telling it like it is. The fucking media lying all the time. I gotta be honest with you, he earned my respect. I was like, oh, okay, I'm open to new ideas. But at the end of the day, a president, it's just like the way you look at a president as like a CEO of a corporation. Now, the CEO of a corporation is not king of the corporation by any stretch. You got the board and you got investors to deal with, right? It's the same with the president. And unless you know what the power that is behind the president in the form of like a board or investors, then you really have no idea what the fuck's going on. I mean, you gotta understand what it is that you don't know. And most of us, we can speculate, which a lot of people do, praise Whitney Webb. She's one of these journalists that actually does stuff. And she gets into kind of the backroom dealings between a lot of these people. Point being is that the president, you don't know what he's dealing with. You don't even really know what the job of a president is, meaning that what he's expected to do for the people that own the president. This wouldn't be disclosed to us dummies. We're just told to just play the game, watch the media, hate each other, while we do what we gotta do. But, it became pretty clear that for whatever reason, Trump wasn't who we hoped he was, right? I mean, I didn't vote for him because, Obama was such a disappointment that I was like, that's when I decided, I see, and I'm not playing this bullshit anymore with the whole voting thing. Are you kidding me? I remember 25 years ago they were talking about how the voting system was just bullshit. I was like, what? This is what the Democrats were talking about. I thought, yeah, the smart Democrats, they're doing a good job. I thought for sure they was going to come out with a new system. Nothing ever happened. Same shit. It's like, wow. Obviously, the whole voting thing is bullshit, so I don't want to play that dumb game anymore. Whatever. That's just me. Maybe you can relate. Can you relate? All right, let's check out some more of this video.
How come a 30-06 bullet didn't have an exit wound and didn't completely blow his head off?
Oh, and how come all the rest of the things that are the details of the case that don't make any goddamn sense?
Why did they pave over the crime scene? Why did they? There's a crime scene, and they immediately paved over it. Not only paved over it, but scrubbed it and stuccoed over it. That you don't do that. You don't do that with before he even has a defense attorney. They did that. So now, if the defense attorney wants to challenge anything that the FBI says about the crime scene, they can't. They can't.
Look. I mean, never mind any of those details. Asking the widow of Charlie Kirk if she thinks they caught the killer and she can't say yes or no, she has to dodge the question as if she were asked something like, what is a woman?
Yeah.
right there, if you don't understand that it's 100% a conspiracy just on that alone, you're a dumb cow. I can't help you anymore. You must be stupid or evil to not pick out something that obvious. What?
That is not a joke. That's a straight fact.
That's funny.
Hey, Kurt, listen.
Shitty people do shitty things to you because they feel shitty about themselves, not because you deserve to have shitty things done to you. That's a fact.
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes
I do. But I would say she has kids, okay? Now, whatever her shady background, this and that, because people, you only get the polarized nonsense things. You either get Charlie Kirk, it happened how they said, or she must be the most evil person. How about this? She has kids, and most of you punks would not do the right thing because you have kids, and you're not under the pressure she's under. Most of you would just maybe have to get a new job, and you wouldn't stand up for shit.
If you'd like to hear